Greetings and welcome to Die Drink and Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles episode 17. I'm your DM and host Marty, joined by the Ontario crew. How is everyone doing tonight? I guess Ontario crew sans Ahmed. Your mics are now being warmed to the temperature of my apartment.
If it's anything like the temperature here, it's like 30 Celsius and super damp.
Okay, I'm being a whiny baby then.
Yeah, you know how you get that whole like, oh, it's like 14 to 25 Celsius all the time. Yeah.
We get humidity. It's 40 degrees. Enjoy.
Yeah, no, it was. No, it's good. The humidity is good. You don't have to do too much outside before you're sweating and soggy. Although, what we learned in lockdown, our internet has a problem because one of the cables in my house is busted. So my router is like beside my computer in the basement. They can't come in to fix my internet because of lockdown. But my dryer leaves the clothes a little bit damp, and my wife complained. And apparently, them checking the dryers to see why things are a little bit damp, that is critical. So that's no problem. So the thing I use to communicate and do my job and facilitate commerce, no. The thing that lets my socks be kind of floofy in the morning, yes.
Maybe you should ask your dryer company if they are also an internet provider.
I want to know if they can run a piece of cable for me from my basement up in the living room.
Nice. Can we do just a quick sound check? Give me a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check.
1, 2, 3, 4. Check. 3, 4. Check.
3, 4, check.
1, 2, 3, 4, check.
1, 2, 3, 4, check.
1, 2, 3, 4, check.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, check.
1, 2, 3, 4, check.
Okay. I'm a tech white.
Check 1, check 2.
All right. How is everyone doing tonight?
All right.
Yeah.
Work is doing one of those things where it's like, I know I have an adventure to make, but I have had no time. I will make an adventure, and it will be adventurous. There'll be monsters and mystery and story to unfold. I don't know what it is yet, though.
It's fine.
So I might slow walk in this adventure. There might be a lot of like, somebody falls asleep at the corner. I don't know.
Well, I'm still running mine, so I've got a whole, like, we just had the hook for mine last night because we finished the streams adventure where you guys get to murder a bunch of Sealy Fae.
We defended ourselves. They were aggressive.
Yep.
You know, my life felt endangered.
All right, I could use game. Work's been work, and Marty's been.
They don't call it fun.
Yeah, I know. And then Marty's been trapped in his apartment, like most of us, since I don't know, end of February. I think is the last time I left the apartment to do anything fun.
Wither King, stop talking about Hobbs because they're not coming up again.
Just
ever.
Unplug my audio.
Ever.
There we go.
Until I break them up with the Hob Archmage.
Wait, what happened? I unplugged my audio and I came back and heard Hob Archmage.
Yes, there's going to be a Hob Archmage called Calvin.
Calvin?
You'll have and Calvin the Hob.
Call him Mr. Klein. All right. With a tiger named Hob? Yeah, okay. I see what you did there.
A Hob Archmage / Summoner with a bipedal tiger.
Yeah, exactly. We punched Marty right in his soul. You see that?
No, I was just exhaling stress from work and just being stuck in my apartment. Marty's not feeling that great today. Episode 16 was called Botanical Gardens. Duke and Schmurf and gang encountered the Guardians of the Sunken Garden in their search for the Feywild tulips. Capra harvests ironwood from the fallen treant. Dee Dee looks for the leads. Maybe I should put her stuff later on. Anyways.
Yeah, that sounds like she was there.
Yeah.
She wasn't there. We got her presents.
Let me just
Don't cast blood biography.
change that. Exactly. Capra harvests ironwood from the fallen treant. Sunny, Dugan, and Cog pay a visit to a rune rite. Oh, I think we just skipped a bunch of crap. Well, I kind of left it, I guess. Dugan, Shriff, and gang encounter the Guardians of the Sunken Garden in their search for the Feywild tulips. Capra harvests ironwood from the fallen treant.
Yep.
Back in town, Sunny, Dugan, and Cog pay a visit to a rune rite and learn that transferring magical properties between armors and weapons is not only possible, but economical. Amadeus, Capra, and Desaad rescue a clockmaker from an attack by a rival gang, i.e. the Gainful Exercise, who hate technology, but love the Five-Faced God. And beating ass. They also like to beat some skulls. Dee Dee looks for leads on the wizard related to Cog's origins, and that might have ironically been the same clockmaker, or at least the lead was the clockmaker that the trio had rescued. Dee Dee later helps Agony find someone to break the curses afflicting him, i.e. that was Coven of One. Coven of One later on calls upon Sunny and his friends to help her recover a long-lost eye. And if we recall, she had we left off with you still in the Coven's Word orrery, and she was going on about how she lost her eye long ago, or it was stolen perhaps by one of her enemies. And that she could see through it, but for at least a century, it just sat in darkness. Like just a dark place. Mm-hmm. She said recently, however, it's being taken out in the morning and put away in the evening, and it's on a table with a bunch of other objects. She took off her third eye, which is this golden stamp, kind of like of an eye in her forehead, and she's passed it around to some of you, and you guys have been able to, when you close your eyes, see through the hag's eye, and you've started to examine some of the objects that are on this crushed red velvet table.
Yes.
She has handed you a bag of things and saying, go fetch my eye and use this to buy it, if necessary. And I think people are taking turns looking at the different objects that are on this table. Hey, and I'm sure you have a bunch of questions that at 2-3 o'clock in the morning you perhaps did not have that you may want to continue here. That's why I paused here. I didn't let you go out into the city. It's like, oh, we should have asked her this, like I didn't want it to go through that. But now's the time to ask questions if you don't understand.
So what does your eye do?
What do you mean? It allows me to see. It allows me to see when it's out of my head, just like my other eye.
And she takes out her other eye. She's got it in her hands and it's moving around.
When exactly did you lose your eye? The one.
Jerry said that long time ago. Long time ago.
Why is it of particular importance to get it back now?
Have you not two eyes? Would you not miss if you had only one?
I would, but I'd probably start looking the day after I lost it. Maybe a little sooner even.
I looked. Someone's pocket it was in. Someone took it. Someone who did not like Coven of One. Perhaps one of our enemies. Perhaps a thief who does not know how to use it.
And she taps the gold thing, like.
Mm-hmm. Did we make a knowledge local or something about a jeweler?
There's
let me go over the descriptions of these items again, and maybe that will prompt some of the questions. The first item that you guys saw, and you guys can continue passing this this golden third eye around. And you seem to be able to not only see through the eye, but the eye has limited motion in that it can like slightly turn. It can't move forward or back or sideways or up or down, but it can definitely spin in the spot. Mark actually has good memory. We did mention something about
There's a jeweler. Yep.
something about that. So give me a second. The first item that you guys looked at was a jade figurine, and I think you made. I think you red figurine. I think you
We
guys
identified it.
ascertained that it was in the style of a hob style figurine, and that these things are called stone wolves,
Yeah.
typically used to guard important places and to also hunt down those that that would try to infiltrate said places. This figurine, now that you have an idea from the objects beside it, is probably only about yay big.
Yep.
But at first you thought it was like a full-sized stone wolf. The next item was a phylactery, and I'm just showing the end of the phylactery, the stuff the thing that sticks out of the forehead. So picture a silver band, and it's got a little resting spot, and then on top of it, it's got a dreidel, like this, a weird thing that independently would spin on the table, used for divinations and for games of chance, or like holy for holy ceremonies. Depending on which. This one looks like it's rather ornate. And underneath the headband portion, there's a piece of paper that said something to the effect of certificate of occasion from Davhorn and you guys made a roll, and you know that there is a place called Davhorn Jewelers that is located in the foreign district, the foreign market.
Okay.
Phylactery is a generic word for something that is on your head. Liches have sort of co-opted that word to also mean soul vessel. This is whether or not the thing on the headband is a soul vessel is you can't tell. You'd need to have a closer look at it, but it is definitely a headband of some importance. And then I think we went through the languages, and you guys didn't understand what language the symbols were in. It's definitely a language. And then the last item looks like some sort of stuffed hay, grim-looking doll. Hey, Fox. And you're guessing that the doll would be about this big. The size of a loaf of bread kind of thing.
Coven,
Yes?
you wouldn't happen to have a scroll of locating object, would you? I seem to remember getting one, but before I could pin it, I had to cast it. Unfortunately.
Scrolls? Yeah.
She goes over to one of those big metal bins that she has in her place and just tips it over, and scrolls just kind of come piling out.
You could have these scrolls if you want. I have no use for them.
I've put a bundle of scrolls in the party treasure list.
Holy smoke.
These were completely randomly generated. This is just junk, or to her at least, it's junk.
No scroll is junk. How dare you?
Scroll of Summon Monster 3 junk? Holy shit.
Levitate. Glitter dust.
This and the bag of jade pieces will be your payment.
She's now got her other eye back into her head, and she's watching carefully as you're passing around that gold third eye.
Capra's gonna try to look through her other eye.
Okay, so Capra's like, here, let me try. He's like, oh, you concentrate, and yep, you can see through her other eye. And she's watching you. Close your eyes. She seems to know what's going on. as her wrinkly face sort of wrinkles up even more, she glowers at Capra.
Well, you can't see her, so his eye closed. He's acting the idiot, right?
Yeah, I guess you would see her like her face scrunch. She takes her eye out and puts it onto a shelf where you can't reach.
You see how useful it is?
Yeah. I saw a red figurine and the little statue and the bauble thing.
Coven of One is very old. She used to have all sorts of eyes. She used to have eyes that fly. But her enemies did not like. No, they did not like it at all.
She sits down kind of in front of the scroll pile and she flicks at some of the scrolls.
Coven of One? Were you ever a Coven of Three?
Oh, long time since those days of frolicking in frivolity. Dancing around cauldrons, dancing to the light of moon. Back when Coven of One had many mates.
Dugan looks skeptically.
Those times. But a memory's dream. Only those times come back in flickers in one sleep. Curious question for one such as you.
What happened to the rest of your coven? Did it end badly? Are they enemies now?
Yes, all gone. They're not on this world. They have their own eyes. No, I would know if it was one.
And she kind of just like he's sifting through the scrolls, kind of like as something to do. She really doesn't care about them.
I would know if it was one of them. I would know if one of them was on this world. I think it's one of my old enemies that's still here. He seems to think that he has dominion over spying, dominion over peeping, dominion over secrets. Coven of One great diviner knows 16 ways of divination.
So, if we find the guy, are we supposed to just let you know? Get the eye back and let you know about the guy, or?
No. He would not be at this merchant store, but he has minions. Try no trick they are. Try to lure Coven of One out of her place of power.
Hey, does your spinny thing work? Because we met this little guy who makes spinny things that click and boop and bong. He might be able to help you with your spinny thing. Maybe you can spin.
Coven of One back aches. He has not cranked the crank in some time. If you want to crank, go ahead. I will tell you when to stop.
Capra hands the gem to like Agony and
yeah, you see
he
there's
likes the idea of like cuckoo clocks and then
there's a big winch off to the side of the orrery.
Okay, he's gonna go spin winch.
You start spinning the winch. It's supposed to start. Capra, what's your strength?
16.
Okay, this is a workout. This is the kind of thing you do a few short reps of, not continuous, and it looks like the thing kind of clatters at first and then begins to slowly start moving, and then there's a lot of screeching as it looks like it hasn't been
Could use some oil.
Yeah, oiled in some time. Cog runs over and do you have oil, ma'am?
Yes, in those barrels over there.
Cog goes and looks and finds an oil can. Yep. Slake is over there banging on it just because banging fixes everything. But eventually, it is the right thing to do with joints that you give it a good bang and
Seized,
yeah. You eventually get this thing cranked up, and it's now clattering as opposed to screeching. You can now have a conversation again.
This enemy of yours, does he have a name? Do you know what he is?
This name you should not say out loud, unless you want all your secrets spilled. This name is not a name you should say lightly. She looks around. But you are safe here? She looked around as if she was looking for something. And she leans in, and she's kind of hovering over Dugenschmurf now, who's on the ground, or fluttering around. Prying Eyes is his name, and his eyes are everywhere. His eyes can detach. His eyes can fly. His eyes are invisible.
Alright. Do you know where we can find this person?
No.
Dugan's looking around now.
Prying Eyes is sure. He's a paranoid sort. He's been around for a long time to know the best way to fight. The best way to win is to not fight and not to play the game. You will not find Prying Eyes unless he wants to find you, and then that will be the last thing you ever see.
Okay then.
Unfortunately, the scroll I'm looking for is not in this stack. The cat is like Sunny is alphabetized by it's by circle, then by the spell type, then by by alphabetical. The scrolls. We should probably try to pick one up. It would make the search much easier. It is likely that one of those objects has your eye. I have not seen your eyes. The objects around it should be that which should be defined upon, I suppose.
Yes.
Do you need this? She hands out her hand for the whoever's got the gold gold third eye.
I think it's currently Nagi's claw.
Yeah. He hands it back.
Do you need this for your search?
She's asking Sunny directly.
If we run into
Dugan's behind her going, yeah.
If we run into problems, it would be helpful.
You don't wear like an eye slot item?
No.
Okay.
I'm a poor wizard. I'm trying to fill a spellbook right now.
I will want this back.
Okay.
Yep.
It's a thing that you can choose to look through or not, or you have to remove it.
No, you choose to look through it. You can activate it. It's a complex action to activate. It's like a command item.
Interesting. We need to meet. We need to talk to a vendor.
The command word in you kind of get the actual translation a little bit, Sunny. It's kind of like Coven's eye left open, Coven's eye left close, Coven's eye right open, Coven's eye right close, and opening them both at the same time might be a little weird if they're not in the same place or in the right spot.
Coven eyes both open.
Yeah, exactly. You are currently looking for her right eye.
Does it make you blind when you use it?
No, but it's really disorienting. So you'd have to close your eyes to actually get a true picture. Like you might be partially blind if you're trying to look at two things at once.
Like concealment or something.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm assuming you'll be waiting here for us while we go and fetch your eyeball.
Yes. Coven of One good at waiting. Have lots to do with new divination.
Has this thing been cranked enough yet?
One more crank.
He's like hopping around the other side to make another push motion.
Yeah.
It's like pull.
It's good. It's good.
Alright, is there like a latch or a thing?
And it's kind
pusher?
of clattering and slowly moving on its own now.
Oh.
And yeah, it's. She seems to stare up at it a little while.
Time slips through our fingers like fine sand. Wouldn't you agree, wizard?
I have a very short memory.
Perhaps it's best as you don't remember all the things that we wanted to get done. Now impossible to get done. Not enough time.
Nothing's impossible. We have magic.
Yes, even that has its boundaries.
She gets up and then goes putters around her lab a little bit.
Don't worry, lady. When I get my fourth circle spells, I'm going to murder you and reincarnate you into a young body. Magic solves everything. How dare you shit talk magic? Reincarnate.
But all my magic items only work for my old form. No.
Make new magic items.
I murder you, but the reincarnation makes it neutral? Is that what we're going
No, I don't think evil. A good deed does not erase the evil.
Are you sure, Marty? Because I was kind of counting on that.
Yep, that's a very evil. It's a very evil way of thinking about it. You go ahead.
Magic solves all problems.
I had the players in the other campaign last week asking about that. They're like, "What if we do a bunch of good spells? Does that erase the fact that we get evil?"
If you have to ask, you know it's wrong. If you're wrong, if you need to ask about it, it's
right.
Yep, it's
evil's
wrong.
a slippery slope. It doesn't go both ways. It's not like you're accidentally good.
They called you Frederick the Ditch Digger. One time.
All right.
So we're gonna help her? Dugan,
Of course.
you said you read something on that piece of paper?
Aye, it's was authenticated at a jewelry shop. Perhaps we can find out who purchased it. If it's not there right now.
Oh.
Why don't we go look for the scrolls?
Okay, so some of us go to the jewelry shop, and others go find a scroll.
What's the scroll for?
Remember that
cast.
same scroll that we bought from Granamir a while back, but we had to cast because Sonny couldn't write it in his spell book?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I-
Can you write it in your spell book now?
Yes.
Oh, Sonny's learning. He's like an old dog that learns new tricks.
Well, good for Sunny.
Yep.
Did you know that I could turn into a dog?
I didn't know. What kind of dog?
Apparently an old one.
Aw. He's just an old gaffer. He's a
I'm
butchie
curious.
He's a good boy.
She's betting Sonny.
I'm curious.
He hasn't
If you
turned into a dog yet.
He hasn't turned into anything yet.
If you turn into an old dog, do you fart more or less?
All right. It appears that she's paid, and Agony's sifting through like the bag and pulls out a bunch of like square tiles of jade, and just sort of lets them run through his fingers back into the bag. There's a couple thousand of them here. Probably worth a couple of gold pieces each.
All right, seems like decent payment. Of course, we'll see where it's actually being. The eye's actually being kept.
Yep, he ties that up. We should use this just in case we need to buy it or information.
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious about the jewel shop.
Oh, so am I. We can go jewelry shopping. Sorry, Sonny.
All right. It'll be much easier with the scroll.
It's 25 gold pieces. Go just fucking buy it. We'll go to the jewelry store. And someone go with Sunny.
Yeah, I think
It's more than 25.
Cog will go with Sunny. Slake, I guess we'll follow Cog around, even though it's to go buy a scroll. He's not happy. He had something to ask Cog about mutagens. Where's Desaad gonna go? I think just he'll follow Dugan.
Sure.
Capra, are you gonna go with the Fae?
Is it still spinning? How long does it spin?
It will spin for a good amount of time. With how much?
Huh. He's been watching it spin.
Yeah. It's like little planets and planetoids, and some of the arms are moving faster than others.
He will go with the Fae.
Okay. All right. Give me or what shop are you going to? This is Sunny, Cog, and Amadeus. Try to find a scroll.
Yes, we are going to first go to the Old Stacks Market Corner.
Okay.
Wait a sec. That is, who runs that one?
This
What
one
is
is
that?
just a representation of multiple shops and
Ugh.
area of a market.
Where's the Grandmare's Arcane? No. Fairy Airy doesn't do scrolls. We do scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Granamere also does scrolls. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be Granamere's or the Fairy Airy. Granamere's is closer. We'll start with Granamere's.
Okay.
Dugan probably would have told you that's where he got it last time. So.
Okay. Granamere's shop is booming. You actually see customers in it. I don't know if that's the definition of booming, but
it is when you're Granamere.
it is. Yeah, it says Granamere's Arcana Shop, and on the side, it's not cursed. And you're seeing a plethora of wares. Slake is standing outside the Steel Rose mill. He's not going into the magic shop. I don't know if Amadeus is going in or not.
Amadeus will wait outside. He knows he's no bonus to anyone's.
Granamere is busy with another customer, which allows you to look through some of the things he has in his shop. And I'm going to paste the list of minor magic items that he currently has for sale. Healing. We got cut off at what? Healing light. And then the medium items that he has are as such. In here, some of the things that are like, ooh, I wish we had enough more money, would be a Pearl of Power, the Bag of Holding. There are some interesting items for learned types, like the Spectacles of Understanding are pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Innocent-looking spectacles that grant constant comprehend languages with a +5 linguistic check to identify forgeries.
And with Scroll Fly.
The Ornament of Healing Light. When I rolled this one, I was like, what is this? You can project your Paladin Lay on Hands to 15 feet.
Cool. Does it need to be in hand?
Yeah, it's a holy symbol.
Okay. And
Dee Dee has Lay on Hands because of her
yes.
curse. I know it's pretty expensive though. The campfire bead is fun. You toss it down and there's a campfire.
It's like that's awesome. Just you need your exit, but you make a whole campfire.
So as his shop expands, basically you guys need to do 50,000 gold pieces worth of commerce for his shop to expand even further. The Minotaur belt arrived when his shop expanded. The Ring of Curing is also interesting. It raises the level dependent healing max by 2, so you could do cure
like
light
1d8
wounds.
plus 7.
Yep.
Cool.
The
That's
Staff
cool.
of Swarming Insects may be interesting to a different group. The Minotaur belt is a strength item that allows you to ignore difficult terrain when charging or making an overrun bull rush trample attempt.
Oh, Slake, it's a shame you don't like magic.
The Steel Hand Circle is a ring that you could ignore the first 5 points of an object's hardness when performing a sunder or when smashing an object. And you don't take the -4 penalty for making CMB checks to disarm when unarmed. It also, once per day, allows you to avoid a critical hit or a sneak attack.
Ooh.
That's nice.
That last power makes all the rest of it worthwhile.
Yeah.
A 50% chance. Once per day is a 50% chance.
Still,
That
could save your life.
Yep.
Speaking as a guy who had that.
And then the Shirt of Immolation, for 10 rounds per day, you burst into flames, and when you're grappling, either on offense or defense, you deal 1d6 plus 10 fire damage over round.
How much is that?
That is 8,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, well,
we're
there's other things to buy first, but that's a worthwhile.
Sonny would like to buy that scroll of flying.
Okay.
And he would like to inquire as to whether he has a scroll of locate object in the back.
You hear Granamir freeing up from the customers. Thank you, and come again. He's fumbling coins into a drawer that is just is part of the same furniture as the counter. What? He says when he looks over at all of you. Greetings, Granamir.
Kind sir, kind shopkeep, might I purchase this scroll of flight? And do you have a scroll of locate object?
Your flattery won't get you any copper pieces.
Okay, he will sell you the scroll.
Okay. So 375.
And then there's a 70% chance that he has the scroll that you desire. That percentage I just rolled wasn't for the check on the other scroll. It had something to do with the scroll of fly that you have.
If it's cursed,
oh, that's right.
I will kill him.
You get up. As soon as you hit 50 feet, you come crashing down.
If I pen a cursed, actually, it might be cool because if I pen the cursed spell into my spellbook, I don't know what that does. If it curses the whole spellbook, or if I just have like a cool version of fly that you cast on people to be a dick.
It's a really shitty version of fly that cuts out after 50 feet.
I just thought of a big. If you're a caster who specializes in cursed and cursed spells and all that shit, the biggest dick move would just be to leave this spellbook lying around for people to find with nothing but cursed spells.
Okay, 1 in 6 chance that it is not a standard level. We'll say 1.
Okay.
No, 6. So it's a 3rd level scroll. A caster level 3, 2nd level scroll.
All right. So
standard price, I believe, is 150.
I think it's 150. Yeah. All right. So minus 150. All right. So There goes half my money.
Are you going to need ink with that?
I could use some ink, yes.
Okay.
Couple hundred gold pieces of ink.
With a stopper, he measures out the exact quantity of ink. he's like weighing the ink as well, and then he provides the vial of ink. He gives you the proper amount, but he's making sure that hey,
Okay.
He's a scholar and a gentleman. All right.
ink is money. Normally,
It is money, quite literally.
You would have done this not in front of the customer, but he did it in front of the customer, or just didn't care that you saw him weighing it.
Well, that's interesting.
All right.
Scroll up.
So I'm going to erase the scroll of fly from the sheet, and then wither and stream. Whenever I see an empty slot, I'll go back in between games and roll randomly to see what gets filled into that slot. So that's how these items arrive. And then if you could add the amount of money you spent in his shop to the
725 gold pieces. Give me a second. Grenimir.
Oh yeah.
Don't.
Locate object. It's all good.
Oh, he's gotten a lot of money from us.
Yeah, so far the party has done 27,000 gold pieces worth of transactions in his shop, either buying or selling. So that's why he's been able to go out and purchase some new items. Or however the complicated sort of like on display on behalf of somebody else, and you know, like there's probably some of that commissioning and lending some of his shop space for that. There's a name for that in auctions where you perform the auction, but you don't actually own the item.
Yeah. I don't know it, but I know. Yes.
It's on commission, I think, maybe. Okay. All right, so you've got the spell. It sounds like you need to spend a few hours to pen that and put it in your spell book, and then you wouldn't be able to prepare it till the next day.
But I could arcane bond it today.
Neat.
Oh, neat. Yes.
Because I was going to do the wizard thing and walk over there and just be like, I hope I don't get boned.
And you can make the spellcraft DC 17 check, which you can make 10. Yep.
Hey.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a plus 14.
So you guys, your little group goes all the just across the street back to the Steel Rose Mill, and then in the comfort of your makeshift laboratory or Cog's makeshift laboratory, you're able to pen the spell. Meanwhile, we've got Dugan leading a group of people to where he believes Davhorn Jewelers is. Dugan, you've never been to this place before. Give me a knowledge a knowledge local to see if you know anything about it.
Local is plus 6. Nope.
Okay.
He's gonna. Before we get there,
Yep.
He turns to Dee Dee. All right. I'm gonna need one of you. He's kind of looking to Dee Dee to lead the negotiations and questioning. I'm gonna be invisible case in the joint in case we got to steal from it.
Huh?
You just ask about the phylactery, all right?
Okay. Do we know anything about the phylactery?
Just that it's with the eye.
It was made with the jeweler. The jeweler made it. It was
At least they authenticated it.
the authenticationers of it. And it had little symbols on it, and it looked like a bunch of gobbledygook.
Now there's a chance. There's a chance that it's the jeweler that has what we're looking for. So I'll be invisible, looking for ways in and out. What else might be there? And also, even if the jeweler is
Why would the
Doesn't-
jeweler have a certificate of authenticity from the jeweler in front of the thing at the jeweler?
Because if he's selling it, he needs it handy. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Phylactery and gobbledygook. Got it.
It's silver, and it's got like a little man with a hat on the side, but it's not like a little man, but it definitely is like a little hat. You know, he's like standing there. He's got the hat, kind of like a hair blowing in the wind, and then the other
How-
one, it's like a table. It's like a table with like a leg that's broken.
Here, I'll
How,
make a
how
sketch
are
of
you
it.
related to your uncle? It's so night and day.
I will make a sketch of it. There's nothing
Alright.
wrong with Capper. You leave him alone.
At eight.
Take it
Dugan's
away.
also casing the joint because even if the thing's not there, he'll probably rob it at some point. 'Cause
Nice.
it's a
Not our district.
store.
Okay, so you pause for a moment, and Dee Dee makes a rough sketch of the phylactery. It's got this little knobby thing, and Agnes like,
There's
no, that's
little
longer.
lobby,
Yeah.
and then on the side there, this one's got like a little hat, and then like two legs coming out the bottom, and then over here you have like a table, but the leg is broken.
She does actually a good job at like marking down the sigils. That was her untrained linguistics check.
Okay,
So
cool.
she was able to like remember the sigils. And it was supposed to be like a duck, and this one was like a little table, but with a thingy, and this one was there. All right,
Yeah.
Hey, looks just like it. That ain't good.
don't ask me what it says.
Wasn't about to.
I believe it says, come in and sit at the table, but be careful they don't knock it over.
Okay, I'm just going to use the conversation layer for this. You go into the foreign market. The foreign market is where a lot of non-humans do business. It is there is a significant portion of the population that is hob, which is our simplification of the hobgoblin race and culture. You can see that they have several tattoo shops that are run by hob. It sparks up a conversation whether or not tattoos can be magical. You don't go there like down this alley, but you do now suspect, as you see people coming in and out getting new tattoos, that tattoo magic is a thing.
I wonder if they could tattoo wings.
They're currently having a bit of a summer festival. You do stop and watch some hob dancers, as well as dancing. It's kind of like some guys with practice swords and weird armor dancing and attacking this really big snake costume. Like we're like multiple people inside like a snake dragon thing, and they're people standing around watching.
Capper appreciates the concept of the martial dance.
Yep.
And is sort of clopping his hooves. Maybe being slightly insensitive.
I have a feeling we already did this. No, it was on your.
We
way
were
to the-
we were
That's
at
right.
the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
We went to the-
Dugan steals some noodles from the same spot that you went to last time, and you guys are all like eating noodles while
These are
watching.
delicious. I hope he makes a profit off these somehow.
I don't think anybody in the group was with you the other time that you stole the noodles. But yeah, you're eating bowls of noodles, watching the dragon snake dancers. Eventually, you do have to ask around. Like the foreign district is pretty big, and there's a lot of shops and there's a lot of commerce here. DDN is up.
I'm gonna have to ask for directions now. Dugan doesn't know where he's going.
Diplomacy is a 14. Anyone want to pile onto that?
Capper will aid.
Dugan auto aids.
Capper also auto aids.
Okay. Yeah, between watching the dancers, stopping for Dee Dee to make a drawing, discussing eating noodles, and then wandering around looking at shops, 3 hours later, It's like you went to the market. You do find a place that is less of a shop that attracts people's attention and more of a fortified building. It's squat, a single story. It has a slightly um, angled roof. The even the shingles look like they're either metal or like reinforced.
Okay.
There is a small door with 2 guards standing outside of it. The guards look like they're wearing heavy plate mail, odd, and it has definitely some infernal look to the armor itself. And I'm going to move you guys to where 2 guards are flanking a door. And above the door, it does say, in chiseled into the masonry, it says Davhorn Jewelers.
Hey, I think we found it.
Hey, you did.
Hey, those are some masks they got there. Probably pretty stuffy inside there, well, with the heat and all. It's kind of stink after full shift.
Dugan's got this feeling there's no way he's able to stay invisible in this place. Someone paid some money.
Dee Dee flutters at them.
Hi, can we go on in?
One at a time.
What?
One at a time.
She looks back.
Hey, go.
Okay.
Dugan, do you want to go, or?
Why would I want to go? All right, I'll go.
Are you sure? I want to go play with
I-
the jewelry. Take this.
She gives you the drawing.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
She
You'll
flutters
stay
back.
over here, and then you'll have money when we go home.
One of the guards bangs 3 times, and then you can hear something moving, like a shutter or like some sort of door kind of scrape open. And then you hear definitely locks unlocking, like in multiple places on the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all at once, like a bunch of bars on the other side kind of go.
Yeah, he's using his roguey ears right now.
Yeah, there's something that's triple locked, and you saw through the little crack that there were 3 bars that came out of the reinforced doorway.
Okay. Maybe it'll be a slick smash and grab. Who knows?
Yeah, these people have definitely invested in security, and you're now starting to wonder about your plan of robbing the place.
Oh no, the plan is solid. It's just maybe not this level.
Eventually.
So-
I will rob them out of spite.
Dugan, you end up in a chamber that is basically a 10 by 10 room. It might only be 8 feet tall. There are definite signs of traps, like your spidey sense is going off.
Yeah.
That there are little holes every few inches in a big grid-like pattern along the ceiling and along the floor.
Okay.
The door closes, and somebody, not the guards, close the door, and the door shuts, and the bars go back in, and you can see some complicated machinery kind of going into the side of the wall, as if somebody pulled a lever somewhere.
Okay.
And then the only other thing that you see in the room is a shelf along one side of a wall across from the door that you came in. So here's the door. Here's the door where you came in. And here's a shelf with like a closed booth. You imagine like it's you can see a place where you would put something in and like kind of like scoot a box back and forth.
Okay.
And there is some tinted glass. The shutter behind the glass opens up, and you're like, "Ooh, that guy's ugly." At first, you thought it was a gnome, or maybe some sort of goblin, but it is indeed a halfling.
What the fuck happened to his face?
The halfling's got some some deformities, and he himself, you can see through the glass, is sitting in a small room, no bigger than the room that you're in, and it seems to have some benches and like merchant tools for measuring and perhaps appraising, all to either side. And then there's a thick door, a metal door behind him. It looked like he came from somewhere. He might have been the person actually opening the gate.
Hello, my name is Panva. Welcome to Davhorn Jewelers. What is your business here?
I'm looking for a particular piece I believe you might be somewhat familiar with. It looks like this. He hands him the drawing through the
Okay.
box, I guess.
Yeah, the box kind of pulls backwards, and you're like, I'm probably small enough to fit in the box.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm thinking. Like, if I make an escape artist check, can I squeeze through there?
You're pretty sure it locks on his side so that the box is closed, but if it's in the middle, you might be able to just
It
sort of
locks.
peek
I
in.
can probably pick
That's right.
it.
I'm sorry, I don't recognize you. Are you one of our customers?
He actually flips open a book, and he's like ready for your answer.
No.
He closes the book as if he was going to pen you in or something like that.
You're a new customer, then?
I would be.
I'm sorry. Unless you're here to pawn something or to sell it, I cannot help you.
And he pushes the box back.
You're not one of our customers.
I just want a name, that's all.
He blinks.
Does it say Davhorn's naming on the outside of this shop?
No.
Our sales are confidential here.
Oh, I see. It's that kind of place. All right, then. You have a nice day.
I didn't happen to catch your name.
Oh, yeah, it's Charles U. Farley.
Pardon?
Charles U. Farley.
Charles U. Farley. Perhaps you could become one of our customers.
I don't like your attitude, quite frankly. I'll take my business elsewhere. Did he give me back my drawing?
Yep. It's in the. it's in the box. Okay. He does glance down at it.
Sense motive? Does he recognize it?
Yeah, give me a sense motive.
I fucking suck at this.
It's like 10 seconds in, and Mark's already ready to go ballistic.
No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Maybe a little bit. No. Maybe.
Yeah, he knows exactly what that thing is.
Okay.
How do you spell your last name?
He says.
Spell it however you like. I'm not going to be one of your customers.
Okay.
What neighborhood are you from?
You realize that the door is locked. Like there's no way to get out of.
Open the door. No.
I'm just making conversation.
Yeah, our conversation's over, you little burnt shit.
Aggressive.
I can make you open the door.
Interesting.
In fact, I believe I can have you scrambling for that lever faster than... I'm at a loss for words, quite frankly. But quite quickly. Now, are we done here?
Might I make a suggestion?
No.
I'm going to do it anyways.
La la la. Because he's fake. La 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 la.
Okay, he waits for he waits for Dugan's temper tantrum
Okay.
to end.
All right, I'm done.
Right, I'm done.
I was told to tell the person that came looking for this phylactery that they might want to take a visit to a certain crypt where the phylactery came from. Do you know what that is?
A crypt, yeah.
No, the thing you've drawn.
Ah, it's a phylactery.
Specifically, do you know what it is?
No.
Well, I suppose it doesn't matter. He smiles. Although I would check out the crypt of the diplomat. It's where it came from.
Crypt of the Diplomat, knowledge local.
Sure. Actually, knowledge history.
That's not going to help me here.
Knowledge local, then.
All right.
Knowledge, the one that I have, I believe is what he was asking.
Artemis is in the other game. 6. And there we go. Oh, a measly 12.
Okay, well, like there's probably thousands of crypts in Crypt Garden.
All right.
You hear what I'm saying. Don't come back unless your manners have been improved.
Oh, I won't be back. Don't you worry.
Is Dugan lying?
Ah, he's not lying about the fact he's not coming back as a customer.
Right. So give me a bluff check.
Oh, that's actually what I was thinking when I said it. I'm not gonna
You could add 5 to your bluff check because it's you're like, I'm not gonna be back here, but I will be back here.
23.
Okay.
The next time rent's hard to make and we need just a quick fix of cash,
Yep.
this whole building just ends up on its side.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Pick a lock. This guy just punches through your door.
Okay. He pulls the drawer back if you take the drawing.
Yeah.
You can hear him locking that, and then he shuts like a big shutter, and that locks. You can no longer see where he is, and then if you're listening really closely, you can hear a door opening. It does not sound like the door that's like on the opposite side of him. It might be some side door that was just out of view. And then
Okay.
there's some cranking, and the bolts come out of the door to the outside.
All right. Well, that's a trap.
Okay, from the guys on the outside, you guys notice that one of the bricks on the outside of the wall glows. The 2 guards look at the brick, and they just kind of don't do anything as the door opens.
I would detect magic.
Yep. So you detect magic. One of the guards, hey, buzz off.
All right, I'm concentrating on my detect magic spell. I want to see how many of those bricks are magical. Is there like 2 bricks that light up? Is there just like a kill 'em brick versus a let 'em pass brick?
You actually see, whoa, okay, the guards have minor enchanted weapons and armor. There is a very, very powerful abjuration on the door. There is a slight abjuration just to the brickwork itself, and you can see that there are 3 bricks that definitely have evocation magic on them, and one of them is active.
Well, I was going to leave my card so that you could have my services, but you just kind of,
Dugan,
piss off.
what do you look like? like what does your face look like as you're flying out of there?
Grimly satisfied as
Okay.
I steal the coin purse of one of these guards.
Okay, so you're gonna pickpocket a guard.
Yep. 36 or 32.
Oh, you
36.
get the higher of the 2.
Yes.
Okay, I think the Donjon website, donjonbin.sh, has a random pickpocket result
does it?
generator. Yep.
That's cool.
It's under random generator, and then it's no, it is under Pathfinder random generator. I saw it the other day and I giggled, and it's going to come in handy.
I will be stealing a lot of stuff.
Okay, give me a D9, Mark.
6.
Okay, the guard, you'll find out later, it's like, don't notice that you grabbed something. He had a single gold piece and a tourmaline worth 70 gold pieces in his pocket.
Thank you.
I don't know where this stolen stuff ends up, on Dugan's sheet or in the party treasure. Where do you want me to paste it?
It goes right now. It goes in his haversack.
Okay. I'll just put it under your treasure.
So I'm guessing, based off of your look, that the conversation went very well. How'd it go?
We've been set into a trap.
Oh, I like traps.
Like, it's set for you, not rats. You know this, right?
Well, I'm not a rat, but we used the trap to our advantage, and then we could catch a big giant rat. Make everyone safer.
Well, apparently.
Apparently they come in different colors. This one is oh, neat. They're kind of like, this one is red and it goes to green on the other side, and it's yellow in the middle. It's
yeah, the comma messed that link, but copy the whole thing in.
Were you putting the link?
He's just dropping in chat.
Oh, in chat.
Picture of tourmaline.
Oh.
One of the things you learned when playing D&D is that there's a whole bunch of geology. Like, geology class today had a bunch of stuff. Like, there's like, everybody's like, oh, there's all those biology words. Yeah, there's also all those geology words.
It's a what? I don't know. I gotta fucking look this shit. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, kind of looks like glass.
Yep.
It's a semi-precious gemstone, although this was one of sizable size and quality to be worth 70 gold.
I'm positive if I set my head to it, I can just make them quit. I just rob them every day. They just never go. I quit. I just keep getting robbed when I come to work. What's the point?
They just stop bringing anything. There's a peanut butter and jam sandwich. That's it.
So imagine if every day you went to work, like someone destroyed your car. It's not worth going to work anymore.
Or you would just not bring your car to work.
Like, you would bring your car to work, right?
Yeah.
It's the
okay. Someone stole money from your bank account because you went to work.
Yep.
Yeah. Then you're not going to work.
Then you're not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two guards, it's hard to tell what race they are.
Do they have any air holes in those masks? Because those masks are oppressive.
Yep.
Those are triangle head masks.
Yep.
Pyramid head.
The horns on the helmet, Capper, you were standing out there watching them. The horns are not part of their helmet.
I've got horn envy.
You expected them like, oh, are they a fawn or a satyr? But their legs are human. Like they're not.
No.
Dugan kind of says under his breath, "It should be noted, though, at some point in the future, we're robbing the fuck out of that place."
Oh.
Nice. I like it. You give a thief a jewelry shop.
The more security.
Well, then we probably should go and see if it's a trap, because that will be justified.
Does that mean I can't go in to go look at the nice jewelry? You know I'm a jewelry maker, and I wanted some inspiration by looking at all the pretty gems.
Yeah, they don't do that. When you go in, it's just a blank room. There's nothing to look at. They ask what you want.
Oh. Well, that's no fun.
Oh, don't worry, Dee Dee. We'll find a place where you can be all inspired.
Yeah, Let's go watch the snake dancing and
Yeah.
eat some more noodles.
And if that doesn't work, we'll just take all the gems from in there and show you ourselves.
Okay.
Well,
she
no,
seems uncertain.
we're only going to do that if they tried to send us into a trap to our doom.
Oh, it's a trap.
Yeah.
He said, and I quote, a person told him that if anyone came in looking for this, to tell them to look in the diplomat's tomb. If that's not a trap, I don't know what is.
What's a diplomat tomb? Is there a
Right?
diplomat and he's got a tomb?
Sorry, crypt.
Oh,
Crypt.
I know this one.
Oh,
You know the crypt?
Well, I know who the diplomat is.
Well, who's the diplomat?
You see, not all humans are bad.
You lost me.
And a long time ago, at the end of the Settler Wars, there was this guy. He's called the diplomat, and he brokered the truce between the Fae and the humans, and put an end to the Settler War, and made the It's why the last Fae Lord said what he said, because the diplomat was the one who had drank and ate at the tables of all races.
Oh, so he's like a hero.
Uh-huh. Well,
Sounds like a freeloader to me.
no, some people think that he was like of the humans that used to live here. Well, they still do, but in the Leeward lands, like there were humans that lived with the Fae. Well, kind
I
of
heard
like the early
stories.
arrivers, like the ones that weren't Imperium came first, and then the Imperium said, "Hey, there's humans here. We own this place."
The ones with the beards.
Yeah, the ones with the beards and the druids,
Yeah,
the nice people.
Okay.
You know, so there was probably some assholes there too. Every group's got assholes.
Yeah, every group's got an asshole. It was kind of like,
Anyways, yeah, that human was old. He probably died a long time ago.
Yeah, well, apparently we have to check
He
out
was
his
friends
crypt.
with elves and dwarves and gnomes and halflings and yeah, and then Faye, of course, because he ended the war. Well, he didn't end the war. He helped broker the priests. He was a peacemaker.
Okay, well, here's hoping he's not undead, hungry for our blood and souls.
Yeah, Vulcane humans. The Vulcane.
yeah, the bushy ones.
I don't know about their how hirsute they were, but
Yeah, there's a bunch of
All
them.
right,
Kind of
so-
looks like a bush.
yeah.
If he's from at the end of the colonial wars,
Yep.
he's likely buried in South Walls. He's probably in Crypt Garden.
Yeah, there's lots of old tombs in Crypt Garden.
Yeah, but he'll probably have a statue if he's some kind of brilliant diplomat, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he was considered like a true Imperial hero. Like the ones that the Imperium thinks are heroes become victory princes, and they become all pompous and like big on themselves. But yeah, he probably has a tomb here in the city. He's from Volcanica.
Oh,
He's from here. Like he's from the city.
All right, well, let's check out Crypt Garden and see if we can find his crypt.
Crypt Garden is like a maze. Like I'm pretty sure Minotaurs like that place because Minotaurs like mazes. They can't get lost.
Well, if you can't get lost in a maze, then what fun is the maze? It just becomes a long walk.
I'm sure
Yeah,
there's got to be a tourist pamphlet or something to show you around the Crypt Garden.
Yeah, DD, there's no excuse for you to get lost in a maze.
No, you just fly up. Unless you go underground. And then you can't fly
Don't even
up.
say things like that. You know I don't like underground.
If there's an underground market in the Underdark, then the Crypt Garden definitely has an underground. I've heard. It's where all the undead are.
Oh, goody.
But I don't think we'll have to go there because the important tombs would be on the surface. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
It's probably old, it's probably big, it's probably not well tended.
All right.
Wait, why are we going there?
Because we're going to spring the trap on ourselves and hope we find something that leads us to this mysterious so-and-so.
Oh. Oh, so it is a trap.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, I think I know what the circlet is. If this is from the diplomat, this is one of his regalia.
Ah,
His what?
A regalia.
Is that a fancy word for knickknacks?
Yeah, the stuff that you wear together. It was like a set of magic items. It was called the diplomat's regalia of demi-humankind.
Hmm.
I think it helped him make friends with all the races.
huh.
Well, I think that one is the. Well, let's see. The belt was dwarves, and the shiny shirt was elves, and the gloves were halflings. But they don't like to be called halflings. They're called hin or hobbits.
I wonder.
Oh, the phylactery is the gnome.
What was the jeweler?
Huh?
Jeweler was
We
a,
didn't get to see the jeweler. What was the jeweler?
oh, he's a greasy little halfling. Messed up face. Beaten with an ugly stick.
Maybe we should bring him a pie.
Yeah.
Oh, give him a pie, all right.
Oh,
With
the
a very
regalia?
special ingredient.
The regalia of demi-humankind were probably buried with the guy.
All right. So, hear me out. If I'm a collector
Yeah.
of fancy things,
Yep.
I want the whole collection.
Yep.
He's got one piece of the regalia that we know of. Perhaps this person who knew someone would come looking for this piece of regalia would be willing to trade the rest of the regalia for another piece in his collection.
Did you just say that he's going to trade the rest of the regalia for the thing for the regalia? Don't we need something else
No,
to
no,
trade?
no.
If you're trying to get all the
No,
pieces of a set,
Capra,
and I say I have a
Capra.
piece, and you trade me the piece for the other piece, then you still don't have a piece.
Ah, we don't give two shits about the phylactery. We just want the eye.
Yeah,
We just happen to know the eye is with the phylactery.
yeah.
Yep.
So if we get the rest of the regalia, maybe we can trade that for the eye.
Ah, now you're talking. Before you're talking about trading the piece for the other piece of the thing, it doesn't make any sense. So over here going, well, if you're trying to get all five of the thing, and you have four of the thing, and you have one of the thing, and then you give me the one, and I give you one of the ones that I still only have four of the thing, even though I've got a different
Yeah,
four
but
of the thing.
who are we trading it to?
It remains to be seen.
Yeah.
And again, it could still be a fucking trap, and let's just assume
I
it
see
is.
what you did there. Remains to be seen.
That's exactly what I was doing. All right, fine, let's go. Oh, look, noodles.
No, I'm full.
No, we don't have noodles. I am role playing right now.
Noodles of the mind.
Noodles of the mind.
Mind noodles.
All right. After your shopping, you guys return, and Sunny has successfully transferred the locate object spell into his spell book, and the party's just waiting for you because there were no instructions as to where to head. Slake is just breaking Vecchia, or whatever it's called, off of one of the many pipes that are in this place.
Okay. I believe I have discovered this spell. Perfect. Are we going somewhere, or should I pen these others?
What time of day is it?
So you guys left to go see. I don't remember what time.
It was right after Capra's birthday party. After his cake. So whenever the cake was. After cake o'clock.
I could go for spicy noodles right now. You sure we don't got any ramen?
We don't. Sorry.
Yes. I'm sure if you said pizza
hang
enough
on a second.
to, if you
We
said
actually
pizza
have
enough to
people.
Marty would order a pizza later. So yes, this is a thing. The will is strong, but not that strong. Ah, fuck.
What gets me are when it's like this savory, the descriptions of the savory meals. It's like the roast lamb with the nuts and the herbs and the all that stuff is like, I want a piece of meat.
I made some this Sunday, and I just finished the last of it right before game. I made some marinated chicken. Oh
Mhm.
god! I bought 2 pounds of chicken breasts, and they were like little tiny chicken breasts, so they cooked really quickly and nicely. I marinated them for 6 hours before sticking them in the oven on a pan, and they turned
Yep.
out wonderful.
We got some short rib fillet, so it's like the rib meat but without the bone, where you just cut the meat off in a strip.
Yep.
Barbecued those things up out in some Korean sauce, and I had the leftover steak, sliced it really thin, put it on a toasted baguette with some a mango salsa, some Greek yogurt, and some like hot peppers with the steak. Oh my goodness! Oh my gracious! Oh my
We'll
goddamn!
say Capra's birthday cake was at around noon. You guys marched out to the Coven of One. By the time you came back it's like 5 p.m. at this point.
Yeah, we're going in the morning. We're not going to be at the Crypt Garden at night. We're not that party.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys kind of just hunker in. Those that ate a bunch of noodles are just fine with laying around for the rest of the day. Dee Dee does come flying over to Capra and I guess Cog.
Yeah, so did you check out? Did you find the lead?
The lead?
Yeah, I told you the a guy who might know the wizard.
Oh yeah. We found them, and they were breaking a shot. Here you go. Dingleberry gives Dee Dee a cuckoo clock.
Hey, what's this?
He enjoyed his conversation with you so much that he wanted to give you this.
Oh, it's got a little bird in it.
Yeah, and the bird comes out every hour.
But Dee Dee starts playing with it and starts winding it and turning back the time. For the next half hour, it is cuckoo clock time.
If you do that, it keeps going and going.
Amadeus just keeps eyeing the bag.
Dee Dee
bag
brings.
that Dee Dee fits in.
Do you want to paste that on to Dee Dee's sheet, please?
Yes.
She puts it in her little suspended basin that she uses as a bed. Dugan, you checked up on your little cache of goods and everything's where it's supposed to be. I know you keep your you keep your little hidey hole here in the steel rose.
Yeah. So, did you ask him?
Ask him what, says Cog.
We were supposed to ask him about something. Dee Dee was looking into seeing if she could help you with your mystery.
Yeah.
And
the wizard that seems to be searching for you, the one that we can't fight, but might be able to help with your mystery.
Slate comes wandering over when you start talking about this topic, and he just sort of stares at all of you.
Oh, hard time sleeping, Slake? I know now might not be the most appropriate time, but I would like to run maybe tomorrow. But I have an experiment I would like to do, Slake, maybe we should try it on Cog first.
No wizard business.
This is priest business.
Same thing.
If it works, you should be able to undergo the pleasures of eating, at least temporarily. Physical pleasures that have been denied.
He just looks away.
If you ever are willing, let me know. On the morn, I can
Do not
try
worry.
to provide you a feast.
Do not worry, I am interested, says Cog.
Perfect.
Cog has always acted more...
He's more
within-
experimental. Just
Yeah.
do the stuff. Hey. So we weren't expecting combat today. So yeah, I'll cast Dream Feast on Cog. Now this might not work because I think you need to go to sleep. So if you can't sleep, it might not work. Next time the target sleeps within the next 8 hours, they dream of a rich feast of their favorite foods. When they awake, they are satiated as if they had eaten a nutritious meal, regardless of what they dreamed she ate. The target must sleep for at least 1 hour to gain the benefits of the spell. So they can't sleep. That's all right. You can dream of food.
Once my one crashes, I will search to see if Cog can sleep.
I don't think he does. I don't know if he can.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I know like there's a bunch of outsiders who don't need to sleep, but they can sleep, like demons.
I just have to check the living
Construct.
The living construct type, because Slake, they're both living constructs, so maybe.
It's like the Peter Pan spell. Just have to imagine it's real.
Okay, I just searched the life spark construct, which is also a living construct. It doesn't say anything about sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But some features of the construct type no longer apply as noted below. So there's nothing in here about sleep. About having a spirit in how they repair themselves, how they're not immune to mind affecting, and how they have con scores still, but nothing about... Yeah, the con score is part of the creature. Okay. Yeah, I think his sleep is he gets wound, and then he just needs to kind of prepare. What does it affect spellcasters in any way? Although he's not a spellcaster, he's an alchemist. Yeah.
So this is also not a sleep spell.
Yep.
It just the creature who gets targeted with it. It's
called Dream what again?
It's called Dream Feast. And it's written weird. It's an instantaneous effect, but you need to do something for an hour to make it do a thing. So it really should be 8 hour duration. Mm-hmm. Like it should be. It should have a duration of 8 hours. It's written poorly. It's a conjuration spell, well, so it should be an enchantment. But
Cog actually kind of goes into a meditative state. Like he actually like sits in lotus position and just kind of shuts down for a bit. And you guys go to bed, wake up the next morning, and Sonny got up early and is like futzing around Cog, waiting for Cog. It was pleasing. I have been practicing how to do Elven Reverie. It is not the same, but it does allow me to think about the day and past events and things that I have experienced. I also reveried about food. It was pleasing.
Magic! Oh, it worked! It worked!
I do not suspect that this will work on Slake. He is immune to many types of magic,
He was created in a different way than I was.
Is he immune to... Oh, if he's a full construct. He's not full construct.
He is pretty damn close.
Yeah, it's not mind affecting, it's conjuration creation. So yeah, he's immune. But if I make it a fire spell, if I somehow...
Thank you for this gift. You are a great wizard, Sonny.
I try.
I will during peaceful times. I will want to experience this again.
Of course, anything to help your mental state.
He puts a hand on your shoulder. If anything, it will remind me of the elf that I was.
We should remember what we are.
In order for us to move forward.
Even when we don't.
Anytime you need help re-getting your memories, I will be there.
I'm certain it'll come to me. Or I'll create new memories.
That is the spirit. Dee Dee's smiling, watching the conversation, invisible in her little bucket.
Oh, look at this, so cute! Yep. Yeah.
Dugan, your party has breakfast. We'll say that Cog and Desaad make eggs.
So, should I use the yellow-fletched arrows or the red-fletched arrows?
What's the difference again?
These ones are red. These ones are yellow.
I like red myself, so it's like...
Yeah, you would. It matches.
He just nods. I've never heard of a yellow dragon.
Yeah, no one knows any comments about that.
Slate doesn't like where this conversation is going, and slips a whole hard-boiled egg into his mouth.
I believe Agony does.
That's what I mean, Agony. Yeah, I always get the two.
Yeah.
So. It's not what I say, what it's what I mean. Yeah.
So on this day, we will be interacting with potentially.
Yeah. So whatever you got that's good against that.
Yeah, prepare your spells, wizards.
Slake, unfortunately, after the investigations, the spell that I asked for does not. Until we can correct your form, I believe your body is immune to it. See, it's conjuration, and being conjuration, your flesh is immune, similar as it is to many spells.
You think you're so smart, huh?
I try.
Well, I hope you're half as smart as I am strong.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
In that we are in agreement.
So why are we going to a graveyard?
To get the rest of the regalia or whatever's in that crypt. We're basically grave robbing is what we're doing. But for a good cause. He looks at Dee Dee.
Well, if the regalia are supposed to be in the crypt and this thing's out of the crypt on the table with all the other items, it means I think somebody's already robbed it.
Yeah,
That's right. And just think of the good that can be done if all the regalia are assembled again.
Yeah, one of the properties of regalia, if it's a true regalia, is that the more pieces you have, the more powerful they have. They resonate together.
all the more reason to want to complete your collection.
Yeah.
And we know he's only got one of Coven of One's eyes, so
Yeah. Okay. I can fight undead, especially with my new circlet. It has something to do with the spring, I think.
does it?
Ooh, really?
Okay. So,
So my channels will be really powerful against the undead. Boom! They'll bust them apart.
oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Sonny, you got a spell for this, though, didn't you? To see if you could find it.
Of course I did.
Have you tried it yet?
I assumed it wouldn't be here.
Well, no, it won't
I
be
have to
here.
get within the area.
Yeah.
How big an area?
How large is the district, Marty?
Big? Like,
Thank you.
like one casting the spell would likely, as you tooled around a neighborhood, you could probably get a neighborhood with one casting.
That's what. So in my head, because I've got a 500 something foot range on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
assuming it's not behind enough like stone,
Right.
lead
Exactly.
or whatever.
So
a lead box or something.
right. So 1 or 2 castings per neighborhood is probably so I'm only a third level wizard, so I can only hold it for 3 minutes.
Okay.
All
right. So
a district in a cast, something like that.
And then you'd have to wander around the neighborhood. Like you'd have to.
Yeah, you have to basically hold it and try to get a signal.
Okay.
Radius,
All right, then.
400
So
feet
we're
plus
going
40
to the
feet per
crypt,
level. You're what level caster? 4?
3 for now.
Okay. Triple class caster. Another one. Learn your spells. Okay. Are you taking your full gang to the graveyard, or are you leaving any people behind? What's the plan? Are you going to search a neighborhood first?
No, I think
what's the plan?
we'll go to Crypt Garden. Is it like a district, like a neighborhood, or
the Crypt Garden is
or it's the size of a neighborhood?
It is a neighborhood that spills into the South Wall district, but it also carries over the wall and probably has a neighborhood itself on the northern side of the wall.
Okay, we're getting a plow wind through here, so I'm going to go make certain the houses like the hatches are battened down and all the windows. Like, give me a second. My house is going to blow away.
Okay. Give me a knowledge local. Dugan.
20.
The gang that calls the Crypt Garden south of the wall, or at least the Crypt Garden in the South Wall district, are called the Crypt Garden Mummers. A mummer is somebody who wears a mask and who performs mute. Like they're masked. They're a masked gang that run the South Wall district, or sorry, that run the Crypt Garden in the South Wall district.
Okay. Troubadours. All right.
Yeah, but they hang out in crypts and.
All right. All right.
They probably will be. You doubt that they allow anyone just to traipse into the Crypt Garden to go loot tombs?
Well, we're taking everybody then.
All right, so you're gonna take everyone.
Yep. Unless Adam wants to leave someone behind, I'm obviously not going to make him.
Yep. What path are you going to walk to the Crypt Garden?
Oh,
through the flour mill, through the crow's nest, or are you going to go through a very thin alleyway that leads diagonally from the old stacks into Crypt Garden? That alleyway, you know, is dangerous.
Okay,
It's
we're not going through the flour mill because we've
Okay.
already had it. We don't need an encounter with the Gainful right now.
Yep.
Hang on a sec. I'm just checking the neighborhoods.
Here's our really rough map of the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
There is a way to get from Old Stacks to Crib Garden. It's just you don't share a very
I
large.
think we're going. I think we're going to go through the Crow's Nest to Crypt Garden.
Okay. And now you see the path last night on Monday that the Losen gang took. They went from Crypt Garden to Crow's Nest, and that's where Los had his heart attack.
Yeah.
There you guys got jumped by the executioners fighting the Talons, and then you ended up in the Gargs. Or no, you ended up in this little intersection here, the tower of the between Old Stacks, the Gargs, Crow's Nest, and Foreign Market. That's where the tower is. It's kind of in a no man's land in between there. What I should do is open up the hexographer and make a hex map of the city, which might be easier for us to navigate.
Well, I can follow the table we got here for an idea, but all right, yeah. So that's the way.
Point is, you can go from Old Stacks to Crypt. You can go diagonally, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's not entirely grid pattern everywhere.
If it was just Dee Dee and Dugan, they just as the crow flies. But we've got the crew with us, and thin alleys aren't good places to get stuck. So.
Yep.
So I don't know where we are, but Sonny gets the bright idea to look through the.
You guys are you stick it in and then you concentrate.
That's why Sonny's never at the back.
Oh, that's Coven of One having a bath. Okay, no.
My eye must be burned from my soul.
Why did she take her eye out and leave it on? It's because you got.
She knows. She knew.
Yes, it's out, and you can see the objects are on the table, and they're slightly in different spots. Like they're not exactly where they were before.
So nobody's bought the.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Does it seem to Sonny like maybe they get put out and put away on a daily basis, or do they get played with?
Well, first Sonny is looking through the object.
Yeah.
Sonny, you are in this cart. Is on a cobbled floor.
Mm-hmm.
You can't quite see the walls.
Okay.
And but there are 4 walls. Like somebody has a merchant cart inside a building.
Okay.
And
if
with
the
a 31
walls are thick enough, it might not work with the locate object.
No, there are windows here. You see some light. You see some light from the morning light coming in, but there's also a magical light that is hanging off the cart, like a little metal rod with a magical, like somebody cast light spell on it, and it's kind of making the edges all shadowy around the. It's like a warehouse, maybe, or some empty room.
At night, where does it go? Does it go into a dark place?
You didn't look at night.
Well, tomorrow night I'm going to look at night to see if I can see a star or something to try to triangulate this thing.
Okay. You can see light coming from windows. You can't look out the windows, or maybe it might be positioned in a different way. But on the crushed velvet merchant cart, you're on a different step this morning, and the objects are moved around a little bit more.
Is there any limit to how long we can look through this?
Nope.
When we get back on this adventure, we're putting this thing on Cog and telling him to wait until whoever picks up the eyeball, see if we can get a look at him.
Because he doesn't get tired.
He doesn't get tired. Just sit there. Think about it. Okay. I fed you. Now you think about it.
You also don't know the range that this thing has.
Yeah, well, it's pretty far. When it gets popped into dimensional space, probably breaks.
Are you looking for anything else?
Are there any people Has you not seen? That it appears to be in the timing, the light. That is all right. So it's like
Yeah, so the little lamp, picture it's like a piece of metal that's bent, and then it's got a little
yeah,
cone, and then somebody casts like light on an object inside the lamp, and it's beaming down on the table, which is causing the rest of the room to be kind of shadowy. But you see
yeah,
another set of light coming in from one side, which you
yeah.
realize is the morning sun. So yeah, you might be able to triangulate over time, at least assess whether you're looking in the same general geographic area.
Yeah, like I need a weird event that the light would like,
There are no other shadows, and there's nothing moving. You can see a little bit of the floor, and it's like cobbled, but it's like a really smooth hewn cobble. And you're definitely in a room, and the room feels big,
yeah,
like a warehouse with windows, like high up windows or something.
yeah, cool. Oh, what are we
Weird,
doing?
weird that they would wheel a merchant cart out into just the middle of a warehouse.
Well, I would expect people. You'd be trying to sell something to somebody.
Yep.
You're just going to try to detect magic through the eye.
Okay. What's your level?
I've
Caster
never-
level for the
my
spell.
detect magic comes out of my. Oh, am I a retude? I'm apparently a big dum dum. No, I apparently didn't prep to detect magic this morning, so we're just. I failed. I'm a failure as a wizard.
Are you serious?
I might have them, but they're. Listen,
Here come the excuses. All right.
mistakes might have been made.
Okay.
I'm looking at detect poison, create water, light, stabilize, disrupt undead, daze, mage hand, prestidigitate, read magic, purify food and drink, guidance, mending. My face is turning red. I can feel myself flushing.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. This morning, Sunny did detect magic.
It happens. Don't worry. It
Yep.
happens.
Especially when you have 3 spellcasting classes.
Well, because you look at each list going, well, the other list.
Oh, it's got the other one's got to have it.
Nice.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Is anyone else looking through the eye? Like everyone stopped now as they're waiting for Sunny, as he's like,
And then he's like, oh, it's like looking for his wallet. Like, the fuck is it? Oh. Mistra, why didn't you tell me?
Mr. comes up to you and chews on the edge of the hem of your robes.
Okay. So I have no idea why he just did this in the middle of whatever was going on. He's like,
Yeah, and everyone was basically waiting.
all right. Sorry. Where are we going again?
We're gonna go see a crypt. We're gonna go see a guy about a crypt. But there's no guy, just a crypt. Although I'm not sure we know where we're going. We're gonna go into the graveyard and I guess wander around. How are we gonna get in there?
Walking.
No, Slake, I mean, how are we gonna get in? There's a wall.
Climbing?
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't like climbing.
Yeah, we got your fancy boots, so quit complaining.
You're correct. Fancy boots, I like. I'm not too bad at climbing. I mean, I'm not the worst.
Okay. You guys wander into the district. There's definitely some shops related to mourning, coffin makers, maybe some embalming places. You do find in the crypt garden there would be a crematorium. And you do definitely hit a wall. This is a wall leading into the graveyard. The wall is 15 feet high with some metal spikes along the top of it. Some gargoyles leering down at you. not actual monster gargoyles, but like
I would take a look.
no, these are like leering faces and like little
Okay,
statues.
yeah.
They're nothing that like if that animated it would fall over, that kind of stuff.
They're artistic
It would be
gargoyles.
funny, and we'd poke it with a stick, that sort of stuff. It is meant to keep people out and perhaps to keep things in.
So we're going in there, are we?
Well, technically, I'm already in.
You hear her voice a little bit higher and a little bit over.
It seems okay on this side.
And this is not like rows and rows of graves. This is a tumble of mausoleums, sometimes built on top of each other, like really small mausoleums. They have little closed doors where bodies must be stacked inside. Periodically, there is a more public building, like an ossuary, that's much more open. Or there is a like noble crypt where entire families have been buried, or a prominent family has been buried, and this goes on for like half the neighborhood.
How hard is it to climb this outer wall?
DC 20 climb check to get inside.
DC 20 climb check. All right.
You can take 10s. There's nothing threatening you at this point.
Capra. He's got a +9, so he's going to roll.
Slake
on
has
the ground.
+12 minus his armor check penalty. He's just trying to find a way to climb up. His ACP and his full plate is -5. Nope, he doesn't.
Capra will try one more time. He gets to the top.
Okay, yeah, you managed to find some toe holds, which is weird for your hooves. Like, you just jam your hoof into some places. And
those goats, man, goat hooves are better than way superior to toes.
Yep,
because smash your hoof in there.
Yeah, you could kind of smash your hoof in sideways, and you manage to get to the top, and you're standing, kind of holding on to a spike that's about 2 feet tall, and then there's some small spikes. And
he'll dangle a rope down, or he'll tie a rope to the spike.
With a rope against the wall, it now becomes DC 5. It's almost trivial. However, and I guess you could dangle a rope down the other way. It's the transition that's a little bit dicey. It would be DC 5 acrobatics checks to like not fall on a spike as you're transitioning over the wall. Didi and Dugan are just waiting. Looks like Capra's already mastered that.
Sonny is going to use physical effort to do this. he's going to climb the rope, and then he's got a +5 acrobatics. He'll tiptoe through the spikes.
Mistress sees you starting to go up the wall, and she kind of nibbles at your foot.
Can I telekinese willing creatures?
What's the name of your power?
Yeah, it's just telekinesis. It's like Mage Hand, but it lifts magic objects, so a little different.
And this is I need to read spells now. This is Kineticist.
Kineticist elements, and you are
the power's basic telekinesis, I think.
Basic telekinesis. Okay, so similar to Mage Hand.
Mine's a little different because I've got add-ons to it, but
except that you can move an object that weighs up to blah.
And now because I've got telekinetic call, it's up to 100 pounds per level.
Okay.
And I've got extended range, so it's increased to medium range.
It says object. That's the part that I'm not happy about.
And then Mage Hand says object.
Yeah.
Like.
It also says unattended object. It is feeling like it is for objects only. I don't think you can move people with it.
Okay.
Do you have anything that allows you to bull rush with it?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I think it's people.
So the way you
Oh,
keep
sorry, not
Dugan
people. It's
from stealing from you is you put a cricket in your wallet so that he can't move the wallet because there's a cricket inside.
It's my anti-theft bug. Just don't put the wallet in your back pocket. Oh shit! I crushed
Oh, and my wallet's gone now.
my crickets escaped.
So I didn't prepare a.
Yeah, it's an unattended object, so you can't do something like the person
Put 'em
grabs a hold
on
of
a
the rope
shield
and
and move
I
'em.
lift the rope kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to tie the rope and have Slake sort of heave the cow up.
Although, at what point does the object have the person as opposed to the person having the object? Like
a car.
if you lift up a car, it's got people inside. Is it unattended?
It could be argued it's an attended object.
Well, so a car with a driver, like in the normal rules for vehicles, a driver of a car, like a driver attends the car. Right? It becomes a mount.
Okay,
right?
Somebody in a barrel. Are they attending the barrel?
If they're driving the barrel, yes. If they're not driving the barrel, no. Like that's the if they're steering the barrel.
Let's just say no and just leave it.
I'm
We're Gestalt. It's powerful enough. If I can't lift people without getting a specific power, it's fine.
So, could we hoist it over using the rope?
What's the add-on thing called, Mark?
Oh, for the weight?
Yep.
Telekinetic haul, and that makes it 100 pounds per level I can lift, and extended range. It allows me to use it at medium range.
You know what? I think we're gonna. How far away are we? Like, how many districts are we away from home?
There's something called self-telekinesis. You use your telekinetic abilities to move yourself.
Yes, I was never going to take that because the only reason you can take it, I don't need it because I fly.
Yeah.
So.
But it's just a case where you're doing a living creature with it.
So
yes.
This makes me suspect that you need.
But it's only self.
You need an add-on to.
What about if I get foe throw? Whereas I literally use another opponent as a projectile.
Telekinetic.
That's
telekinetic globe may also be close because it creates a telekinetic sphere, which I think you can move people around in. And then let me read telekinetic hull.
We can discuss this later if you want, because it's levels away and we're streaming.
Maneuvers is close. Okay, well, you actually have you're trying to move a cow over a wall, so I think there's
how many districts are we away from?
Like
half a neighborhood home.
Yeah,
half a neighborhood home. I think we might just tell Mister to go home.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll see you there. Next time I'll prepare the correct spells. This is because you didn't remind me to prepare detect magic, you know.
Okay.
Oh, it's
Mistra doesn't have any encounters of her own on her way back, and she's able to make it back home safely.
I imagine the street vendor who's like trying to catch the cow and get their ass kicked.
That's a brutal kick to the jaw.
All right. So
yeah, Mr. couldn't take spring attack, or Bab wasn't high enough, so she's instead has powerful or improved natural attack because they made me do it.
Glancing at climb for agony. Yeah, he can make that. He can make the acrobatics, so he's over the side. Capper, you're over the side. Desaad. Can you make DC 10 climb checks? Oh no, DC 5 in acrobatics. He's no problem once you have the rope set up. Cog, I believe, is the same. He needed that rope. Thank you very much. Slake, similar, although I'm not sure about the acrobatics. Oh yeah, he's fine. He's got max acrobatic ranks. It's all good. He's surprisingly nimble, even in his heavy armor. Amadeus, I believe, is okay, and then Sunny, you're
He's got a +3 climb and a +5 acrobatics. He climbs it the old-fashioned way.
okay. You guys all hop down over top of the spiked wall, and you have broken into the or you are trespassing on the Crypt Garden, the actual graveyard portion of it. And there's a sea of a tangled mess and literal maze of small individual crypts and family crypts and housing for coffins that are built on top of each other.
All right, so the mummers run this place.
The what?
Run Crypt Garden. Oh, they're a fucking gang.
Oh.
But they hang around.
Isn't there supposed to be